There is a reason why certain feelings linger within us, even when we wish they wouldn't. They cling to the corners of our hearts like whispers of something greater, something beyond our immediate understanding. But these feelings, persistent as they are, may not be mistakes or mere happenstances. They might very well be divine signals, nudges from the universe itself, urging us to pay attention, to listen closely, and to truly see, When God allows such emotions to remain, it's not to torment us or trap us in confusion. It's to guide us. These feelings often arise from a place deeper than our conscious mind can reach. They bypass logic and reason, anchoring themselves in the very essence of who we are. And why? Because they hold meaning. They are messages, breadcrumbs on the path of life, and our task is to follow them with curiosity and faith. Think about it. Have you ever been drawn to someone, not because of anything obvious, but because something within you insisted that this connection mattered? These feelings don't come with a neatly packaged explanation. They don't arrive with a manual to decode them. Instead, they ask us to lean in, to trust that there's a purpose behind their presence. They're like an unspoken language that only the heart understands, urging us to embark on a journey of discovery. But what exactly are these signals trying to show us? Perhaps they're pointing us toward aspects of ourselves that we've overlooked. Maybe they're holding up a mirror, revealing parts of our soul that need healing or growth. Or perhaps they're urging us to reconnect with the very essence of love itself, the kind that transcends ego, the kind that teaches us patience, compassion, and vulnerability. These lingering feelings can also be a beacon, guiding us toward someone who has a role in our lives we cannot yet fathom. It might not even be about romance or partnership in the way we imagine. It could be about transformation, about awakening to a deeper understanding of life and our place within it. Sometimes we are called to connect with someone because they hold a piece of the puzzle we're trying to solve, or because we hold the light they need to find their way. But here's the thing, these signals aren't always comfortable. They can be messy, confusing, and even painful. Yet it's in the discomfort that we often find our greatest clarity. The very fact that these feelings won't let go might be the clearest sign that they matter. They refuse to be ignored because their purpose is too vital to overlook. Now you might wonder, why can't these feelings come with certainty? Why must they feel so ambiguous, so open-ended? The answer lies in the nature of faith itself. Faith isn't about certainty. It's about trusting that even when the road ahead is unclear, you're exactly where you're meant to be. These emotions, persistent as they are, teach us to trust in the process, to surrender to the unfolding, and to believe that there's a reason for everything, even when we can't see it yet. And so when you feel the pull of these emotions, resist the urge to push them away. Sit with them. Explore them. Let them teach you what they're here to teach, because the truth is, they are not here by accident. They are here to shape you, to guide you, and to lead you towards something far greater than you could have imagined. In the end, these feelings are not a burden, but a gift, a divine signal, whispering to you in a language only your soul can understand. Trust in them. Follow them. Let them reveal to you the beauty of the journey that lies ahead. And remember, the heart always knows the way. When you find that you cannot shake your feelings for someone, there is often a profound lesson nestled within that experience. The persistence of those emotions is not accidental. They serve as a guide, pulling you into an arena of growth and understanding that you may not have willingly entered otherwise. It is as if the universe has decided that this connection, this feeling, is the catalyst you need to confront something deeper within yourself. Consider this: how often do we learn our most significant lessons when life is smooth and uncomplicated? Rarely, if ever. Growth, the kind that transforms us, emerges from the tension, the struggle, the inner wrestling with questions that seem to have no answers. And often it is through our relationships or the longing for them, seeing for them, we are pushed into that space of discovery. These lingering feelings for someone, though they may feel like an ache or a burden, are likely serving a greater purpose. They are prompting you to examine yourself, your desires, your fears, and your capacity for love. It's easy to think that these feelings are about the other person. After all, they seem to orbit around their presence, their memory, or the imagined future with them. But more often than not, these emotions are not just about them, they are about you. They ask questions like, what are you holding on to? What are you afraid to face? What do you need to let go of to grow? The answers may not always be comfortable, but they are necessary. Sometimes the persistence of feelings is there to awaken us to our own value. It's a way of revealing the parts of us that are still seeking validation from outside sources, or the ways we may have neglected our own needs in the pursuit of someone else. These emotions can serve as a mirror, reflecting back to us the areas where we need to cultivate self-love and inner strength. They remind us that the depth of our longing for another is often a direct reflection of the longing we feel to truly know and accept ourselves. At other times, these feelings are an invitation to explore patience and trust. We live in a world that craves immediacy, quick answers, swift resolutions, a linear path from desire to fulfillment. But life rarely operates on such a schedule, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. These lingering emotions teach us to sit in the tension of the unknown, to find peace even when clarity is absent. They urge us to trust that there is a timing far greater than our own, and that things unfold exactly as they are meant to. Now, you may ask, if this is about my growth, why does it have to involve someone else? Why can't I learn these lessons on my own? The truth is, relationships, whether fully realized or simply longed for, are one of life's most profound teachers. They have a way of revealing us to ourselves in ways that solitude cannot. Through another, we see our fears, our hopes, our insecurities, and our potential. We are challenged to grow not in isolation, but in connection, even if that connection feels one-sided or unresolved. It's also worth considering that these feelings might not be about a lesson at all. Sometimes they are simply there to guide us toward what is meant for us. They may be a way of aligning us with a destiny we cannot yet see, preparing us for a connection that holds a significance beyond our current understanding. The waiting, the longing, the wondering, all of it may be the universe's way of shaping us into the person we need to be when that moment finally arrives. Whatever the reason, the key is not to resist these emotions or dismiss them as mere distractions. Instead, lean into them. Allow them to teach you, to shape you, to bring you closer to the person you are meant to become. Because ultimately, these feelings are not here to punish you, they are here to guide you. They are a reminder that the heart is not a random vessel of emotion, but a compass always pointing us toward growth, truth, and love. So when these feelings remain, even when you wish they wouldn't, remember this: they are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of life. They are the universe whispering to you, nudging you toward something greater. Trust in that process. Trust in the wisdom of your heart, and let the journey unfold one step, one lesson at a time. When we wrestle with persistent feelings for someone, there is often a hidden force at play, one that moves beyond the ordinary explanations of attraction or circumstance. These feelings linger not as an accident, but as part of a deliberate unfolding of something greater, something that has its roots in the depths of the soul. You might find yourself questioning why these emotions won't fade, why they persist even when reason tells you to let go. Yet the truth is that such feelings are not here to torment you. They are here to reveal the profound interconnectedness of all things and to awaken you to a deeper sense of purpose. Sometimes the heart knows truths that the mind is not yet ready to understand. What you feel might not make sense in the moment, but it carries the weight of meaning that transcends the immediate. You see, the human heart is not merely a vessel of emotion, it is an instrument tuned to the vibrations of life itself. When you feel a pull towards someone, it's as if the universe is playing a note that only your heart can hear. This note, this resonance, is not random. It emerges from the intricate web of connection that binds us all, a web that exists beyond the limits of time and space. In this sense, your feelings are not isolated, they are part of a much larger symphony, a divine composition that we are often too close to recognize. And what if these feelings are here to remind you of the infinite nature of love? Not love as we typically define it, something transactional or conditional, but love as the very essence of existence. When your heart remains tethered to someone, it might not be about the specifics of the person at all. Instead, it may be the universe calling you to reconnect with the boundless, unchanging love that flows through all of life. That person becomes a symbol, a mirror, reflecting the depth of your own capacity to love. But love in its truest sense is not about possession or outcome. It's not about whether the feelings are reciprocated or whether the relationship manifests in the way you imagine. Love in its purest form is about being fully present in the experience of connection, regardless of where it leads. These persistent feelings, then, be less about the other person and more about teaching you to embrace love without expectation, to give without needing to receive, and to trust in the process of life. It is tempting, of course, to resist these feelings, to see them as obstacles or burdens. After all, the mind craves resolution, clarity, and certainty. But the heart operates differently. It understands that growth often comes from sitting with the unknown, from allowing ourselves to feel deeply, even when it's uncomfortable. These lingering emotions are a call to surrender, not to give up, but to let go of the need to control or define what they mean. And here's something to consider. What if these feelings are not just about you? What if they are part of a greater ripple effect, touching lives and hearts beyond your own? When you hold space for love, even in its most unfulfilled or unrequited form, you are contributing to the collective energy of compassion and connection in the world. Your feelings, though deeply personal, have a resonance that extends far beyond the boundaries of your individual experience. In the end, these feelings may not lead to the outcome you desire, or they may, but the outcome is not the point. The point is the journey they take you on, the depths they invite you to explore, and the truths they reveal about who you are and what you are capable of. The point is to allow them to refine you, to soften the edges of fear and doubt, and to open you to the vastness of love's possibilities. So, if you find yourself holding on to feelings that seem inexplicable or unending, do not rush to dismiss them. Instead, honor them. Allow them to be what they are, without judgment or expectation. Trust that they are here for a reason, even if that reason isn't here, because in the dance of the universe, nothing is wasted. Every emotion, every connection, every lingering feeling is part of the unfolding story of your life. Let your heart guide you, even when the path is uncertain. For in that uncertainty lies the beauty of existence, the possibility of discovery, the promise of transformation, and the unshakable truth that love, in all its forms, is what binds us to one another and to the divine. There are moments in life when we're certain we've reached an impasse. Our thoughts swirl endlessly around someone, and no matter how hard we try to let go, it's as though the universe refuses to grant us permission. It's easy to see this as a form of suffering or punishment, but what if it's something entirely different? What if it's the universe's way of holding us in place, of guiding us toward a deeper truth we're not yet ready to see? You see, the human experience is not meant to be neat and orderly. The heart doesn't operate on a schedule or adhere to logic. It moves to a rhythm that is ancient, mysterious, and deeply personal. When your feelings for someone linger, and every attempt to release them seems futile, it is not a failure on your part. It's an invitation to sit with what is unresolved, to embrace the tension rather than escape it. The tension of lingering feelings is like the tension of an unstruck note in a symphony. It hangs in the air, unresolved, waiting for its moment. But that moment cannot be rushed. It will come not when we force it, but when we surrender the unfolding of life. To linger with these feelings is not to dwell in pain. It is to allow yourself to remain open to the lessons they carry. For within every ache of the heart there is a message waiting to be heard. Perhaps the most profound aspect of these lingering emotions is their ability to connect us to our vulnerability. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the raw, unfiltered truth of being alive. It is what allows us to feel deeply, to love without conditions, and to grow beyond our comfort zones. When you hold on to feelings for someone, even when you think you should let go, it is your vulnerability that keeps you tethered. It is a reminder that you are human, beautifully imperfect, and capable of profound connection. Yet vulnerability is not meant to be carried as a burden. It is meant to be embraced as a gift. These unresolved emotions, this unshakable connection, are not weights meant to drag you down. They are signs of your heart's capacity to love, to dream, to hope. And even if those dreams and hopes are not fulfilled in the way you imagine, they are not wasted. For every moment spent loving is a moment spent living fully, deeply, and authentically. Still, there is a paradox at play. While these feelings tether you to someone, they also tether you to yourself. They ask you to look inward, to examine the desires, fears, and beliefs that keep you bound. They challenge you to grow, to expand your understanding of love and connection, and to trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you in time. So, if you find yourself in this place of unresolved longing, do not rush to escape it. Do not view it as a problem to be solved or a flaw to be corrected. Instead, as a sacred pause, a moment, breathe, reflect, and listen to the whispers of your soul. For the heart has its reasons, and those reasons often lie beyond the grasp of the mind. In time, the clarity you seek will come. Perhaps it will arrive as a quiet realization, a gentle letting go. Or perhaps it will come as a resounding affirmation that this connection was never meant to leave you. But either way, it is not your job to force the outcome. It is your job to remain open, to trust the process, and to honor the journey. And when you do, you will find that the weight of these feelings begins to transform. What once felt heavy and overwhelming will become light and expansive. What once felt like a tether will become a thread, weaving you into the fabric of life's grand design. And in that moment you will know that nothing has been in vain, that every emotion, every thought, every connection, action has been a part of your becoming. So if you are here in this space of unshakable feelings, take heart. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is guiding you toward a truth that is greater than you can imagine. Trust the journey, and let your heart lead the way. Life as we experience it is rarely as linear as we'd like to believe. There's a strange, intricate dance between the heart and the cosmos, a weaving together of emotions, experiences, and energies that often defy reason. And when it comes to the lingering feelings we hold for someone, it's easy to think of them as unfinished business or misplaced attachment. But perhaps they are neither. Perhaps these feelings are the universe's way of urging us to look deeper, beyond the surface, into the essence of what connection truly means. You see, love is not bound by the rules we impose upon it. It doesn't follow the constructs of time or the tidy narratives where we tell ourselves about what should or shouldn't be. Love is a force that transcends, reaching into the corners of our souls to uncover what we often resist seeing. And when we find ourselves unable to let go of someone, despite the passing of days or the turning of seasons, it is not merely a fixation. It is an invitation to understand the nature of love, and more importantly, the nature of ourselves. These lingering feelings are not accidents. They arise because they have something to teach us. They ask us to pay attention, to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, and to embrace the possibility that life is working through us in ways we cannot yet understand. When you feel tethered to someone, it is often because they serve as a mirror, reflecting back to you the parts of yourself that yearn for acknowledgement, healing, or growth. It's not always about the person themselves, but about what they awaken within you. There's a certain vulnerability in holding on to such feelings. It can be frustrating, even painful, to navigate this space of uncertainty and longing. But within that vulnerability lies your greatest strength. For to love, even when it feels impossible on return, is to be fully alive. It is to embrace the risk and the reward, the beauty and the ache, of what it means to open your heart. And here's the paradox: while love connects you to another, it also connects you more deeply to yourself. The act of holding on to someone, of carrying their memory or their essence in your heart, is also an act of self-discovery. It forces you to confront your fears, your desires, and your beliefs about what you deserve and what you are capable of. It challenges you to grow, to become the kind of person who can love freely and fully without conditions or expectations. Now, this doesn't mean that every lingering feeling is a sign that you're meant to be with that person. Sometimes the purpose of such connections is to guide you back to yourself, to teach you something about the nature of love, not as a transaction, but as a state of being. To remind you that love is not something you seek from another, but something you cultivate within. And when you learn to love in this way, you free yourself from the need for validation or reciprocation, as you become love itself. But even as you do this, it's important to honor the process, to allow yourself to feel what you feel without judgment or resistance. To trust that these emotions are not here to torment you, but to guide you, and to remember that every connection, no matter how fleeting or enduring, serves a purpose in your journey. Sometimes that purpose is to challenge you. Other times it's to comfort you. And occasionally it's to prepare you for something far greater than you can currently imagine. As you navigate these emotions, be gentle with yourself. There's no timeline for healing, no checklist for closure. Love doesn't adhere to our schedules, nor does it fade simply because we will it to. Instead, it lingers like a melody that refuses to leave your mind, reminding you of something beautiful, even if bittersweet. And in that lingering, it teaches you to be patient, to surrender to the unknown, to trust that what is meant for you will never miss you. So if you find yourself holding on to someone, not because you want to, but because you feel compelled to, know that it's not a mistake. It's a part of your path, a part of your becoming. And when the time is right, the purpose of these feelings will reveal itself. Perhaps they will lead you back to that person, or perhaps they will lead you back to yourself. Either way, you will emerge from this experience wiser, stronger, and more attuned to the rhythm of your own heart. In the end, love is never wasted. Every moment you spend loving, even in silence or solitude, adds to the tapestry of your life. It shapes you, refines you, and prepares you for the love that is meant to be yours. So trust the process and let your heart guide you, for it knows the way even when your mind does not. It is said that love in its truest form cannot be forced, nor can it be restrained. It flows naturally, weaving itself into the fabric of our existence, whether we welcome it or resist it. But there are moments when love feels like a puzzle we cannot solve, a weight we cannot lift, or a question we cannot answer. These moments, too, are part of the journey. They ask us not only to endure, but to transform, to see love not as an object to possess, but as a process to be experienced. When you feel the lingering pull of someone you cannot release, it is easy to grow restless, to wonder why these emotions persist, and to seek immediate resolution. But consider this: what if the persistence of these feelings is not a sign of failure, but of alignment? What if they remain not to torment you, but to prepare you? For love, like the turning of the seasons, often works quietly in ways unseen, aligning our lives with what we are destined to experience. The human heart is not a simple mechanism. It doesn't work in straight lines or neat timelines. It expands and contracts with the rhythm of the universe itself. And sometimes it holds on to people, places, or memories, not because it is weak, but because it knows something we do not yet understand. In these moments, what feels like longing might actually be alignment, a divine arrangement, slowly and deliberately bringing all the pieces together. Imagine for a moment that life is like a grand symphony, and each connection, each relationship is a note in that symphony. Some notes resonate immediately, others take time to find their harmony. But every note has its place, its purpose, its compass, its contribution to the greater melody. So the person you cannot forget, the feelings you cannot shake, they are part of this symphony. They are not out of place, they are simply not yet finished playing their role. This is where trust comes in, not blind faith, but a quiet, steady trust in the process. A trust that allows you to sit with the uncertainty, to embrace the mystery of what you feel without rushing to label it or resolve it. For in the space between knowing and not knowing, something profound happens. You grow, you soften, you learn to let love be what it is rather than what you want it to be. But trust does not mean passivity, it means engagement. It means listening deeply to what your heart is telling you, not just about the other person, but about yourself. What do these feelings reveal about your desires, your fears, your capacity to love? What do they teach you about patience, about surrender, about the courage it takes to remain open, even when the outcome is uncertain? And while you do this, life continues to move. The universe continues to work, aligning people's circumstances and events in ways we cannot predict. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually preparation. Sometimes what feels like absence is actually presence, working in a deeper, unseen dimension. And sometimes the very act of holding on is what shapes us into the people we need to become, so that when love does arrive in its fullest form, we are ready to receive it. It's a paradox, isn't it? To hold on and let go at the same time. To care deeply without clinging. To trust in the connection while also trusting in its timing. This is the delicate balance of love. It is not about control, but about co-creation. It is not about demanding answers, but about embracing the questions. And in doing so, you align yourself with the flow of life itself. So if you find yourself unable to let go of someone, know this: your feelings are not a mistake. They are a compass guiding you towards something greater than you can imagine. Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you, not because you force it, but because you align with it. So love is not a destination. It is a journey, an unfolding, a becoming. And in this journey, every step matters. Every feeling, every connection, every moment of doubt or hope, it all serves a purpose. So honor the process and let your heart lead the way. For when you align with love, you align with the very essence of life itself. And that is where the magic happens.